Good morning, my dear student. Today in the sessions we are going to learn the 10th problem on the axial and the bending load is simultaneously is acting on the component. So I will read the question. A steel cantilever is 200 mm long. It is subjected to an axial load which varies from 150 Newton in compression to 450 Newton in tensile, or we can say as 450 Newton is acting in the tensile in nature. Also, a transfer load at its free end which varies from 80 Newton in upward direction and 120 Newton in downward direction. The cantilever is of circular cross section. Its of diameter is 2d for the first 50 mm diameter. The first thing is the diameter 2d for the first 50 mm and of diameter d for the remaining length. The remaining diameter of the diameter, how much is given? The remaining length of the diameter is given as d. Okay, determine the diameter taking a factor of safety of the material as 2. Assume the following value. The first thing is given as yield stress value. The yield stress of the material is 330 megapascal. Okay, so yield stress is represented by sigma y is given as 330 megapascal, and the endurance limit in the reverse loading. Okay, so here the endurance limit, here two condition is given here, 0.7 in the reverse axial loading as well as 1 in the reverse bending. So on this component the axial load is acting, meanwhile the bending load is acting on the component. Okay dear, and the stress concentration factor for the bending it's given as 1.44, and the stress concentration factor for the axial loading is given as 1.64. Is it right? And the size effect factor is given as 0.85, and surface effect factor is given as 0.90, and the notch sensitivity is represented by Q is given as 0.90. Then how to solve the problem? Let us see over here. The first thing is a steel cantilever. The total length of the beam is given as 200 mm. The first thing is I will draw the cantilever beam. Okay, of the total length, the total length of the beam is given as 200 mm. Okay dear, 200 mm. Is it right? But it is subjected to the which load? Axial load, which varies from 150 Newton is in compression nature. So on this beam, which load is acting? 150 Newton compression load is acting here. 150 Newton is in compression nature. Load is acting on the component. Meanwhile, 450 Newton tension force is acting, where and also transfer load at its free end. From at the free end, here this is our free end. From this free end, the compressive force is acting. Meanwhile, the tensile load is acting. How much tensile load is acting? The tension force 450 Newton is in tension. Okay. And also transfer load at its free end which varies from 80 Newton in upward to 120 Newton downward, where it is load is acting at the free end is acting. Is it right? Already they mentioned where it's acting at the free end. The load here, upward load, how much is acting here, which varies from 80 Newton in upward direction, 80 Newton in upward direction, 120 Newton load is acting in a downward direction. Okay dear, and let us see, and of diameter, sorry, the cantilever is of circular cross section, it's of diameter 2d for first 50 mm. So let us observe here, the first thing is, the first diameter of it is length. How much is given here? Length is given as 50 mm. So diameter is how much is there? The diameter from here to here is how much? 2d is there. So we can represent here 2d, and remaining diameter is what we can say? d. Is it right? So this means that it's a half should be what we can say? This should be d value. If you want to draw like this, then you need to do the chamfering here to reduce the stress concentration factor here, as well as meanwhile you need to reduce stress concentration factor. And you need to remove this excess part. You need to remove this excess part. Okay, then I am trimming this portion, excess part we are removing. Okay, here, so first thing is I will write the given data, okay, as well as the factor of safety. How much is given here? 2 is given. The yield stress is represented by sigma y. Is it right? I will write here given data. Sigma y okay, sigma y, how much is given here? The yield stress of the material is given as 330 megapascal is given here. Is it right? 330 megapascal is given. Okay, so this one we can represent by sigma y, yield stress represented by sigma y, and endurance limit in the reverse loading 0.7 in the reverse axial loading. Okay, wait, sigma e, endurance limit, it is represented by sigma e. How much is given here? 0.7 for the tensile in nature. So actually I forgot to write in the question, the endurance limit in the reverse loading is how much is given? 300 megapascal is given here. So that's what I have to represent, 300 megapascal, and this is the value of correction factor. Okay, the correction factor, it is represented by Ka. Is it right? 0.7 in the reverse axial loading. For the axial loading we have to use the Ka. How much? 0.7 for the axial, as well as the correction factor 1.0 in the reverse bending. So we can represent for the correction factor for the reverse bending, we need to represent by Kb equal to 1 for the reverse bending. Okay dear, as well as here the stress concentration factor for the bending is given as 1.44, as well as for the stress concentration factor for the axial is given as 1.64 is given. Then the stress concentration factor, it is represented by Kt. Stress concentration factor is represented by Kt, but for the bending we have to represent by B. Is it right? How much is given? 1.44 for the bending, as well as the stress concentration factor for the axial, it is represented by KTA. Is it right? How much it's given? 1.64 for the axial. Okay, dear. As well as the size effect factor. The size effect factor, how much is given here? The K size factor is given as 0.85, and surface effect factor means K surface finishing factor of the material is given as 0.90. It is given. Okay, K surface equal to 0.90 is given. Is it right? And the node sensitivity of index is given as, we can represent by Q equal to, it should be 0.90 of the material is given. Is it right? Then let us see over here. From here to here, length is how much is there? 50. The remaining length should be how much? 150 mm length. Okay, so this one we can say as 2D, and this diameter we can say as D. Okay, the total length of this specimen of the cantilever beam is 200 mm. Okay, dear. Then again we need to find out the, first I am finding the mean axial load. Okay, mean axial load we need to find out. If you want to find out, then we know very well mean load. Okay, mean load equal to here WA maximum plus WA minimum by 2. Here WA maximum load, how much is that here? This is axial load. The axial load has it compressive nature and tensile nature. This compressive is housed is in negative, and tensile nature is in positive. The tensile load, so we can represent here WA maximum, how much we got it here? 450. The minimum load is how much is there? 150. 450 tensile nature, 150 is in compressive nature. Then we can represent here 450 plus WA minimum, how much is there? This is compressive, nothing but we need to consider as minus. Is it right? Minus 150 by 2. So if you are subtract plus into minus, 450 minus of 150 by 2, if you divide this value, then you will get the answer is 150 Newton. So that is the value of mean axial load. Okay, axial load. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the variable axial load. We need to find out. If you want to find out the variable axial load, which formula we have to use here? So we need to find out the variable axial load. We need to find out. Is it right? So for the variable axial load, it is represented by WV equal to WA. So maximum axial load maximum minus axial load minimum by 2. Is it right? Because we are talking about which load? Axial load. On this component, how many forces acting? One is axial load is acting in tensile compressive. Another one is, which one is force acting? Bending load is acting at the free end. So for that reason, first I am finding the axial load. After that, we need to find out the bending load. Is it right? So in this case, we are finding the axial load. Okay, dear. Axial load maximum, axial load minimum. The axial load maximum, how much we got it here? 450. And axial load minimum, how much is that here? 150. So what is the nature? The minimum load is in compressive in nature. If it is a compressive in nature, then you need to consider as minus 150 by 2. So 450 minus into minus plus 150 by 2. If you add this value 450 plus 150 by 2, then you will get the value of 300 Newton. That is the value of variable axial load. Okay dear. Actually what is our intention? Our intention is we need to find out the mean axial load, we need to find out. Is it right? Or we can say as mean stress we need to find out. So which formula we have to use here? For mean axial load, we have to use the formula is sigma m equal to Wm, mean load by total area A. Is it right? Because already we solved in the last problem. Wm by total area A. So here Wm, how much is given here? 150 Newton is given here. 150 Newton. So area, what is the formula of area? A is equal to pi by 4 into d square. Is it right? Just you need to put here pi by 4 into d square. So 4 it will move above, 150 into 4 by pi by d square. If you divide 150 into 4 by 5, then you will get the value of mean stress value sigma m equal to 151 d square. Okay dear, then we got the value of mean axial load or mean axial stress. How much we got it here? Mean axial here stress. Okay dear, how much we got it here? 150 by d square. So what will be the unit? The unit should be Newton per millimeter square. The unit should be there. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the variable axial stress. We need to find out in this case. If you want to find out the variable axial stress, which formula we have to use? Variable axial stress. If you want to find out, then we have to use the formula is sigma v variable stress equal to WV by capital area. WV variable stress, how much you got it here? 300 by total area of this specimen. So what is the formula of area? A equal to pi by 4 into d square. Just you need to put this value wherever A will be there, pi by 4 into d square. So it should be 300 into 4 by pi into d square. So if you calculate the value with the help of calci, 300 into 4 by pi, then you will get the, so if you are here, in this case 150 into 4 by pi, then you will get the value of 191 here, not 151, here 191 by d square. That is the value of mean variable stress, or we can say as mean axial stress. How much we got it here? 191 by d square. Here if you solve with the help of calci, 300 into 4 by pi, then you will get the value of 382 by d square. That is the value of variable axial stress. That is the value of sigma v. Then what will be the unit? The unit should be Newton per millimeter square. That is the unit. Is it right? Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the stress concentration factor. We need to find out. Then if you want to find out the stress concentration factor, which formula we have to use? Kf is equal to 1 plus Q Kt minus of 1. Is it right? Then stress concentration factor, then, or we can say as fatigue stress concentration factor. If you want to find out the fatigue stress concentration factor, then you need to use the formula is Kfa equal to 1 plus Q Kt minus of 1. Okay, here 1 plus Q. Q is the node sensitivity is given here. How much is given here? Q? 0.90. 0.90 is given here. 0.9. Kt value is how much is given here? Kt value is given as 1.64. Is it right? 1.64 minus of 1. That is the value of fatigue stress concentration factor. It is represented by KFA. So if you solve with the help of calci, then you will get the answer is 1.576. How much? I am getting the answer is KFA, fatigue stress concentration factor in the axial. So I am getting the answer is 1.576. 1.576. Okay dear, again what we need to find out? We need to find out the endurance limit. We need to find out for the axial loading. Is it right? Endurance limit for axial loading. So for the endurance limit formula, we know very well which formula we have to use here, sigma EA. So endurance limit in the axial direction, endurance limit in the axial should be equal to sigma E into Ka. Okay, here sigma E, how much is given the endurance limit? The endurance limit is given as 300 megapascal. So we can represent here 300 into Ka. How much is given here dear? The Ka is given as, correction factor is given as 0.7 is given. Is it right for the axial? If you multiply 300 into 0.7, then you will get the answer of 210. Then what will be the unit? The unit of this stress is Newton per millimeter square, but the stress concentration factor Ka value, they don't have any unit. For that reason, the stress endurance limit, we have the unit is Newton per millimeter square into, there is no unit. Is it right? That's what we are representing as sigma EA should be equal to how much? 210 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, again what we need to find out? We need to find out the equivalent normal stress. We need to find out. That is the most important. Is it right? I will drop this one. So here equivalent normal stress where at A point. Is it right? So for the equivalent normal stress is acting at A point, which formula we have to use? Sigma NE. So equivalent, so E is indicate that equivalent, N is indicate normal, and sigma is indicate stress. Equivalent normal stress is acting, how is it? Axial load is acting. How is the nature? The nature is axial. Okay, axial load. Okay dear. Then for that reason, which formula we have to use? You have to use the same formula, just you need to represent the sigma M by, in the Soderberg equation, which formula we are using? Sigma M by sigma Y we are using. But in this case, we have to use only sigma M plus sigma V by sigma EA. Sigma EA into sigma Y into KF by K surface finishing factor into K size factor. remember for this formula, how to remember, that is the most important. Equivalent normal stress, if it is acting in the axial, then we have to use the formula is equivalent sigma n EA is indicate that equivalent normal stress is acting at a point of A in a axial direction. Which direction? Axial direction. For that reason I represent as sigma n EA. So which formula we have to use? We have to use this Soderberg formula. Just you need to remember, we are not dividing here sigma m by sigma y. Is it right? This sigma y we are placing this side. Okay. Sigma v by sigma EA as it is only. Kf by K surface finishing factor also as it is into K size factor. But in the equivalent normal stress, just we are adding sigma y. Instead of here, we are putting here only. Is it right? Done. Sigma m value, mean stress. How much we got it here? Sigma m 191 by d square. 191 by d square plus sigma v value, how much we got it here? 382. Okay, 82 by d square into sigma y. Sigma y, how much we got it here? 330 megapascal. Is it right? 330 into Kf is given here. Kf also given. How much? 1.576. Is it right? 1.576 by here sigma EA. Just now we solve with the help of endurance limit for the axial loading. How much we got here? 210 we got it. Is it right? 210 into case surface finishing factor. How much we got it here? How much is given? 0.90 is given. Is it right? And K size factor, how much is given here? 0.85 is given. 0.85. Then what you have to do here? Just you need to remember 191 by d square as it is only. Is it right? 382 into 330 into 1.576 divided by 210 into 0.90 into 0.85. If you divide this term, you will get the answer. Let us see over here. 191 by d square plus 382 into 330 into 1.576 by d square into, it's move above. Is it right? 210 into 0.90 into 0.85. If you divide this term, then you will get the answer. So I am getting the answer is 191 by d square, keep as it is, plus. If you divide 382 plus 330 plus 1.576 by 210 into 0.90 into 0.85, then you will get the answer is 1237. Is it right? 1237. Am I right? 1237 by sigma NEA. Okay dear. Then after that we need to add the value of 191 plus 1237. If you add the value, then you will get the answer is sigma NEA should be equal to how much dear? 1428. Is it right? 1428 by d square. The what will be the unit? The unit should be Newton per millimeter square. That is the value of sigma NEA. Any confusion up to here? No. Okay. Again, in the second case, what we need to find out, the same procedure we need to follow here, because in the first case axial load is acting on this component. In the second case, which load is acting here? The bending load is acting where? At the free end. Bending load is acting at the free end is there. Okay dear. In this case, we need to find out the bending load we need to find out. Okay dear. Case second. Here reverse bending due to transverse load. Okay dear, then how to find here? First thing is, at the free end we know very well, so this is our fixed end, and this is our free end. At the free end, which load is acting here? One is upward load is acting, another one is downward load is acting. So this means that the maximum bending moment is acting at the where? At the free end. Okay dear, then we need to find out the maximum load or mean load. We need to find out. In this case, the first thing is we need to find out the mean bending load. In the first case, we need to find out mean bending load. We need to find out. For the mean bending load, which formula we have to use? Wm equal to Wt minimum. Already we have discussed, is it right? T minimum or maximum plus Wt minimum by 2. Okay dear, then Wt maximum, how much we got it here? Wt maximum is 120, is it right? Wt minimum is how much is there? Minus 80. We know very well maximum load is how much? 120. The minimum load, transfer load is how much is there? Minus 80 by 2. So if you subtract this value, plus into minus should be minus. So 120 minus of 80 should be how much here? It should be 40. 40 by 2 should be how much? 20 Newton. So that is the value of mean bending load, Wm. Okay dear. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the variable bending load. We need to find out variable bending load we need to find out. If you want to find out the variable bending load, which formula we have to use here? Wv variable bending load equal to Wt maximum load minus Wt minimum by 2. Is it right? Wt maximum how much is that here? 120 minus Wt minimum is minus 80 by 2. Is it right? 120 minus into minus plus 80 by 2. It should be how much? 200 by 2. It should be how much? 100 Newton per millimeter. Sorry. It should be how much? 100 Newton only, because we are finding the variable bending load. Wv is 100 Newton. Okay dear. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the maximum bending moment. We need to find out, as well as we need to find out the minimum bending moment. We need to find out in this case. Okay, then how to find out the minimum bending load? Or we can say a mean bending load. Mean bending moment. So let us consider mean bending moment at where? At point A. I will draw the figure here. This is our cantilever beam. This is diameter we can say as 2d diameter, and this diameter we can say as small d diameter. Yes. Here this section we can say as section A and B. Okay dear. So here which load is acting? The mean load is acting Wm from length. How much we are covered here? From here to here
150.
it should be total length is 200 and from here to here is 50. From here to here how much should be there? 150 mm. Then we need to consider as 150 mm. Okay, dear. Then for the mean bending moment, if you want to find out, for the moment, which formula we are using? For the moment, generally we are using the formula is force into perpendicular distance. Is it right? The force is which load is acting at the free end? Wm is acting. So we can represent here, instead of force, we can represent as Wm, distance from free end to the section at A. How much? 150 mm. We can represent here. Then the mean bending moment at A. Okay. Then we can represent here force into perpendicular distance. Is it right? Then that is a rough. Okay. Force is how much here? Wm into perpendicular distance from the free end. How much is there? 150. Is it right? Wm, how much we got it here? 20 Newton. 20 Newton into 150. So if you multiply this term, then you will get the value of 3000. So what will be the unit? The unit of force is Newton. The unit of distance is mm. Then we can represent here the mean bending moment at point A is how much? 3000 Newton mm. Is it right? Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the variable bending moment at point A. We need to find out. Is it right? Variable bending moment at point A. Okay, dear. If you want to find out, we have to use the same equation or same problem, or sorry, the same figure we need to draw here. Here, which load we have to consider here? Wv, variable bending load. Wv, the distance they cover is how much? 150. So how to find out here the variable bending moment? We have to use the formula, same formula you have to use, force into perpendicular distance. Force into perpendicular distance we have to use. The force is how much is there? Force nothing but Wv, we can say Wv, variable load into perpendicular distance from A to B section. How much distance is occupied? 150. Is it right? Wv value is how much we got it here? 100 into 150. If you multiply 100 into 150, then you will get the value is 1500. The unit of force is Newton and the unit of distance is mm. Newton mm. Is it right? That is the value of variable bending moment is at point A. Okay, dear. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the section modulus. Is it right? Here, 100 into 150 should be how much? 15,000 dear. Okay, now 15,000 Newton mm. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the value of section modulus. We need to find out. Okay, dear. If you want to find out the section modulus value, which formula we have to use? Z is equal to, tell me dear. Yes. For the section modulus, we have to use the formula Z equal to pi by 32 d cube. Okay dear. Pi by 32 as it is d, diameter How much is that here? D, how much we got it here? D is unknown, we need to find out. So if you calculate the value 3.142 by 32, then you will get the value of 0.0982 d cube as it is. Okay dear, that is the value of section modulus. Again, what we need to find out? In the next case, we need to find out the average bending stress. We need to find out. If you want to find out the average bending stress, which formula we have to use? Tell me dear. Sigma m is equal to mm by z. Already we solved in the last problem. Is it right? The same formula we need to implement here. Okay dear. Mean bending stress if you want to find out the mean bending stress, we have to use the formula is sigma m equal to mm by z, section modulus. Okay, mm how much we got it here? Here 3000. Is it right? 3000 by section modulus how much we got it here? 0.0982 d cube. Is it right? If you divide with the help of calci 3000 by 0.0982, then you will get the value of 30550. Okay, then divided by d cube. Then what will be the unit of stress? The stress unit is Newton per millimeter square. That is the value of mean bending stress, sigma m. Okay dear. Then again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the variable bending stress. We need to find out. Okay dear. If you want to find out the variable bending stress, we have to use the formula is sigma v equal to mv by z. Okay dear. Mv, how much we got it here? Mv is 15,000. Okay dear. 15,000 by sectional modulus how much we got it? 0.0982 d cube. So if you calculate 15,000 by 0.0982, then you will get the value is 15270. Okay, 15250. Okay, by d cube. That is the value of variable bending stress. If you are getting the variable bending stress, again you need to find out the fatigue stress concentration factor. Which formula we have to use? Fatigue stress concentration factor you need to find out. Is it right? Fatigue stress concentration factor. If you want to find out the fatigue stress concentration factor, which formula we have to use? FT. Fatigue stress concentration factor is acting in the form of bending. For that reason, we have to use 1 plus Q KB minus of 1. So Q nothing but the node sensitivity and the KB nothing but correction factor. Okay, minus of 1. So 1 plus Q value how much we got here? 0.9. KB how much we got it here? 1.44 minus of 1. So if you subtract this value, then you will get the value is 1.396. Okay, 1.396. Okay dear, that is the value of fatigue stress concentration factor is acting at a point B in the form of bending. KFTB we can represent. Okay, again what we need to find out? KTB we can KTB. Is it right? KTB minus of 1. Okay, then here. Again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the endurance bending load. We need to find out. Okay, now here. If you want to find out the endurance bending load, which formula we have to use? We have to use the formula is sigma EB equal to sigma E into KB. Okay, dear. Because how to multiply here? Let us see over here. Sigma into E, okay, into KB, nothing but correction factor in the form of bending. In the form of bending, already is given here. So sigma E keep as it is. KB value is 1. Sigma E value is how much is that here? 300. How much? 300 Newton meter. So it is a form of sigma EB. Please take this snapshot. So the unit should be Newton per mm squared here. Okay. Again, we need to find out the equivalent normal stress at A in the form of bending. We need to find out. Okay, dear. Okay, dear. So we have to use the formula is sigma NEAB. Okay, dear. So sigma N, nothing but equivalent normal stress is acting at a point of A in the form of bending. In the form of bending. If you are confused, means if you want, you can remove the A also. It's your wish. Okay, or you can otherwise you can represent here equivalent normal stress due to bending. Is it right? We can use the formula is sigma M plus, which formula we have to use? I told you, sigma V by sigma, which one? EP. Which formula? EB into sigma M by here sigma Y into here KF, okay, by K surface finishing factor into K size factor. Okay, dear. Then sigma M value, sigma NEB equal to sigma M value, how much is that here? 30550 by D cube plus sigma V value. Sigma V value is 152750. Is it right? By D cube by sigma EB value. How much is that here? 300 into sigma Y. Sigma Y value is how much is that here? 330. And KF value is how much is that here? 1.396. 1.396 by K surface finishing factor, how much is given here? 0.9 into K size factor, how much is given? 0.85. Okay, dear. Then 30550 by D cube plus 152750 into 330 into 1.396 by D cube into 300 into 0.9 into 0.85. If you divide this term, then you will get the answer is 3050 by D cube plus if you divide this value, then you will get the answer is 306618 by d cube. If you add this value 30550 plus 306618, then you will get the value of 337168, okay, by d cube. Then what will be the unit will be there? The unit should be Newton per mm square. That is the value of equivalent normal stress at a point A due to bending NEB. Okay, again, what we need to find out? We need to find out the total equivalent. We need to find out. Is it right? How to find out total equivalent normal stress? Total equivalent normal stress we need to find out. Is it right? If you want to find out total equivalent normal stress, sigma NE equal to sigma NEA plus sigma NEB. Okay, dear? And sigma NEA in the axial loading, already we solved the problem, then we are getting the answer is 337168 by, it should be how much? D cube. Plus sigma NB value is how much is that here? 33716. Sorry, here this is the value of weight. Sigma NE value how much is that? 1428. How much? 1428 by D square. Is it right? Plus sigma NB value is how much is there? 337168 by D cube by sigma NE. So in this case, is it possible to take the common term? No. So for that reason, we are taking the here D cube common here. So 1428 by D square into D cube plus 337168 by D cube into D cube by D cube. Is it right? This is square and cube will cancel. Remaining should be only D. Here D cube and D cube will cancel here. Then remaining is 1428D plus 337168 by D cube by sigma NE. Is it right? Sigma NE. Or you can consider up to here also. So it is considered as equation number 1 you can consider. Then again we need to find out equivalent normal stress. We need to find out in this case. Okay, if you want to find out the equivalent normal stress, where at the point A, if you want to find out which formula we have to use, sigma NE equal to sigma Y by N. Sigma Y, yield stress how much is given, you know very well, 330 by 2. If you divide, then you will get how much? 165 Newton per mm square. We can take here. So this sigma N value we can substitute in the equation number 1. Is it right? If you substitute in the equation number 1, then you will get the value. Okay. Substitute sigma NE in equation 1. So in the equation number, this one we consider as equation number 2. Okay, otherwise you can substitute in the equation number 2 also. Is it right? Let us see. Sigma NE value, how much is that here? 1 sigma NE equal to 1428D plus 337168 by D cube. Sigma NE value, how much we got it here? 165 equal to 1428D plus 337168 by D cube. So in this case, what we have to do here? You need to cross multiply this term. 165D cube equal to 1428D plus 337168. Okay dear, again 165D cube minus 1428D minus 337168 equal to 0. Then which formula we have to use here? Here in this case 165D cube, here square is not given. If it square is not given, then you need to consider this 0D square. Is it right? 0D square we can consider here. 165D cube plus 0D square we can consider minus 1428D minus 337168 equal to 0. Then it is a form of 165D cube plus 0D square minus 1428D minus 337168 is constant term equal to 0. If you calculate with the help of calci, then you will get the solution is diameter D equal to, with the help of calci I am getting the answer is 12.9 mm. Okay, so if you have the doubt regarding this problem, please write down in the comment box. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you dear.